What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to Intentional Grounding. This is our second episode thus far. Yeah, exactly. We made it past one. So that you always got to start at one and you get to two and,
And then you get 3 and then 4 and then
yeah,
5
exactly.
and 6
Exactly.
and 7.
You guys...
Good job, Mike. Good count.
You guys didn't hate us nearly enough to make us stop making episodes so far. So here we are. I am Costavianis, one of your 3 co-hosts. Mike Woodard is with us.
Hello.
And Tyler Spittle.
Hey, guys.
All right. So last week we talked about the free agency signings and trades that have happened so far. And like the whirlwind with all of that going on. We talked about some of the winners, some of the losers. And literally the day after we did that recording, there were some key signings and trades that happened that would have probably altered our discussion from the previous recording. So we're going to talk about those.
First world podcasting problems.
Yeah, first world podcasting problems.
Hashtag.
We're a day late and a dollar short. So to start off, probably the biggest signing was Michael Vick signing with the New York Jets to either be the backup quarterback, be the starting quarterback, either way. When Vick signed the contract and they asked him, he said he knows right now the job's Geno Smith's to lose, but it's his job to offer competition to Geno, to mentor him, help him bring him along. But if he's called to be the starting quarterback, he is ready for that challenge. And Rex Ryan really, he sat on the fence the whole time when they asked him about it, which that's his job to do as the head coach. He doesn't want to give anything away too soon. He's not Lovie Smith. Doesn't commit to a quarterback right away when there's like some form of comment. Yeah, exactly. So, whoever.
Either way, Geno's still going to end up being the starter for at least half the season somehow, whether by injury or by him actually being better.
Unless Michael Vick, who's a veteran quarterback, pulls a Russell Wilson and surprises everyone, wins the job out of the preseason when he had no business doing so.
That would be a complete reversal.
So yeah.
That'd be more like their third stringer pulling that.
Yeah, well, Matt Sims. Yeah, he could probably.
If it is a true quarterback competition, Mike Vick can definitely win it. But just like Tyler said, and he would be a spark for the Jets. He really would. He would help improve their offense
for 4 games.
4 games that he might play.
Yeah.
And then you have to rely on Geno Smith. You're going to flip-flop back and forth throughout the season. Oh, Vick's healthy again. Let's bring him back in. Oh, wait, he's hurt again. Let's bring Geno back in. It helps, but it doesn't help.
I think Rex Ryan's learned his lesson. I think because he's obviously dealt with quarterback issues the whole time he's been there. So I think he's going to stick whatever guy he has. He's going to stick with unless they're struggling just miserably to the point where it's like you have to make a change to one or the other. So.
Well, but it's another year, another QB controversy.
Yeah.
Last year, even Matt Sims got...
Right. I think unless Geno Smith is just absolutely horrendous during the preseason or in a case where Michael Vick just outperforms him by so much that they have to go with Vick, as we said, this is Geno Smith's job to lose. Vick is simply here as a security blanket to Geno Smith to help bring him along and develop him. And we've talked about this before. It's not the greatest signing, but it was a signing that Jets had to make.
Yeah, he was the best QB on the market, but he is old. He's prone to injury. He only completed a 16-game season once. And so you have to be prepared for that. You have to be ready to accept the fact that he's not going to play every single game. And then not only that, in his last 2 years as the Eagles QB, he was turnover prone.
Right.
And what did the Jets have problem with? Their last 2 quarterbacks? Turnovers. Sanchez led the league, I think, in turnovers 2 years ago, and Geno Smith, I think, led the league last year in turnovers. So, again, it helps, but only marginally.
Right.
I still don't think it really makes the Jets that much of a contender. It helps them a little bit.
Right. We'll see. They're very similar quarterbacks in their style of play. So, as we said, Vick will definitely be a good mentor for Geno Smith. It's just a matter of whether or not the signing will make them a better team or not, which we'll see. There's so many different variables with Michael Vick that you just never know. So the Eagles and Jets essentially swapped quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Swapped backup quarterbacks anyway. Mark Sanchez got released, and he goes and signs with the Eagles, which I don't really think we have much to say on that sign. It's just they needed a veteran backup to Nick Foles. I mean, I don't think Nick Foles is necessarily. I mean, I don't expect Nick Foles to throw 20 touchdowns and 1 interception again. But I don't expect him to regress to the point where they have to play Mark Sanchez.
Well, and I think Chip Kelly has a system that's proven offensively to work, and Nick Foles obviously really excelled in that system.
Right.
So while he might not put up the same numbers, I think he has the opportunity to put up something similar.
Right.
And yeah, Mark Sanchez is just there because if Nick Foles gets hurt, Sanchez can manage his way through 1 or 2 games.
I mean, when I think about it, he actually, I mean, as far as like backup quarterbacks, he has to be one of like the 3 or 4 most experienced backup quarterbacks in the NFL, just because he started a lot of games early in his career for the Jets, and obviously got the 2 AFC championships with a great defense and running game. But he's a good guy to have as a backup.
Well, and he's a young backup.
Right,
that's
too.
the difference too.
Yeah.
All the other backups we're talking about, like I think isn't Rex Grossman still available? Like someone like that. Like,
yeah.
And then like right before you guys signed Fitzpatrick.
Right.
As
Fitzpatrick. Yeah. You know.
Like I think the top backup currently available right now is like Vince Young.
Yeah, that's he'll sign with the team at the beginning of training camp and then just get released before the preseason's over.
I couldn't believe they released him. He played well in the preseason.
He did. That's another story.
And really, just on a quick aside, Green Bay probably could have used him.
Probably. I mean, when Rodgers was out, they could have given him a shot. I mean, what else did they have to lose, really? I mean,
right.
So then another quarterback that made a jersey change, Matt Schaub. Yep, goes from Houston to Oakland. Tyler.
And Houston somehow gets a 6th round pick for that.
Yeah,
so
I mean
another pick 6 for Matt Schaub.
A sixth for a pick 6.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that the Raiders would have got a much better player for that value at that pick, but it is what it is. Like they're
very thin at quarterback. That's their biggest need now.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably going to be drafting someone within the first 3 rounds, and then possibly again the next couple of years. So yeah, I mean, because of course they're going to be. They already said they're planning on releasing Pryor in a few more weeks. So what else do they have after Schaub?
McGloin.
Right, yeah, Matt McGloin, who apparently a lot of people preferred over Pryor last year.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess Schaub's better than what they currently have.
But he's not.
I think he is. I think they imagine Matt Schaub being what John Kitna was for the Bengals when they drafted Carson Palmer, like that veteran quarterback to maybe start for a season, and then they hand it over to the rookie or the guy that they drafted.
Yeah, he's definitely the short-term solution because he is older, I should say. The
irony being that Palmer also played for the Raiders, but
right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the Raiders traded for Palmer last year, and I think they were probably hoping for the same thing. They thought maybe they could win with Palmer while they try to maybe build up a rookie. But the problem is Oakland's going to be stuck in rebuilding for the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a long process before they finally gain any momentum. So now, I mean, they do have Schaub, but when he was with Houston, he had Andre Johnson.
Arian Foster,
he had
Owen Daniels.
Foster. He had weapons.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really have those weapons. So will he be as productive? I doubt it, but a lot of that also isn't going to be on him.
Well, the Raiders also signed Maurice Jones-Drew, which he didn't exactly have his best season. He'd always been like the one bright spot for the Jaguars the last few years, but he had injury problems. He had his.
Well, he hasn't been producing.
Right.
Even
yeah. I mean, but well. It's hard. It's hard to be productive in the Jaguars' offense, though. I mean, but.
But then what about the Raiders' offense gives you any more hope?
Exactly. I mean, I think though, as with any guy, I think this might have just been a case where the Raiders were a team that offered him the most money. I'm sure a lot of teams offered him because he would be a good backup running back to have. I put him and even though he's older than McFadden, I put them both kind of on the same level of value because they both had injury problems, and when they are healthy, they're very good. but they just can't stay on the field longer than a couple games at a time before they have to sit down again and sit out.
Oakland's just rolling with two high risk, high reward players at
Right.
the same position.
That and then another running back that made a team change, Moreno, signed with the Miami Dolphins, which one of the things we talked about last week was how we weren't sold on their running game, even though I had them ranked as one of my top teams as far as all the players they had signed during free agency. I think the Moreno signing kind of puts him over the top because he's, I mean, he needs to prove that he's worthy of being the number, because he played with Peyton Manning, and every running back that plays with Peyton Manning performs because everyone has to worry about the passing game. So the 1-year deal gives him an opportunity to prove himself, and I think he's an upgrade over Lamar Miller and Daniel Thomas.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, he's definitely better than what they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also as a real quick thing too, the Steelers did sign LeGarrette Blount.
And LeGarrette Blount, yeah, that's the one that happened
Another
most
running
recently
back.
or today. That's
a good signing.
That's a
for
good
them.
signing.
It's a good
They
signing,
love power runners.
And give someone another backup maybe to help push into your
Bell.
LaBelle.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell.
Blah, 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 blah. Le'Veon Bell, yeah.
I blame him on him being a rookie.
Well, they've got a really good 1-2 punch.
Yes,
Jonathan
yes,
Dwyer was good. He went to Arizona, but Garrett Blunt's a huge upgrade as a good change of pace guy. They're going to be tough. Their running game's going to be a lot better. I mean, their running game was good last year, but now it just got even better with LeGarrette Blount, the big physical runner that they always have. They had Jerome Bettis, then Mendenhall was kind of a power runner. Isaac Redman, Dwyer, and now Blunt. So they always have that one big physical guy. Any other changes that we haven't talked about yet? I think.
How about one big name?
A wide receiver.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, DeSean Jackson.
Yeah. Oh
He just got released today.
Big name, little guy.
Yeah, he just got released today, which I figured they would have changed, but I guess his contract was just too big to move.
Yeah, but they carry dead weight. That's what I don't understand why they released him. He was productive. I mean, I guess if there was a rift between him and the coaches, I could understand it. I could see it from that end. But if there isn't,
did you hear the story that they reported on? Apparently, back in 2000 and since 2011, the FBI. This was a report that was made by the FBI to a newspaper in Philadelphia that they believe that he might somehow be linked to the Crips, the gang in California. That he might associate with. They don't know if he's necessarily a part of the gang, but he associates with known members or whatever. And apparently the Eagles had really people think that might have been like the kind of like that final push that led the Eagles to releasing him.
2 years.
Well, no, but this has been like an ongoing thing. Apparently, the Eagles hadn't heard about it until recently, which kind of I don't know if that doesn't really lend any credence to the story, or whatever. But I mean, obviously, DeSean Jackson isn't exactly the highest character player in the NFL. But I mean, he's out there, and a team's going to grab him. Like, what if he lands in New York? What if he ends up playing with teammate Michael Vick? They've already got a well-established chemistry, or he could like.
And then finally, New York has like a decent, really good offense. You got, DeSean Jackson is your number one. Then Eric Decker is number two.
It would basically be Philadelphia light.
Yeah.
Because then you also have Marty Morningwig, the offensive coordinator, who worked with DeSean Jackson for years and Vick for years.
I mean, they also talked about Oakland being a landing place, and all of a sudden the Matt Schaub signing seems better when DeSean Jackson lands over there, because then he's got a fast, athletic receiver like Andre Johnson that you can throw the ball downfield to, because that was always their bread and butter in Houston. Andre Johnson down the field, and then you can work with if McFadden and Jones-Drew can stay relatively healthy, then I think their offense all of a sudden looks a lot better than it does right now. James Jones on the other side, exactly.
And then Carolina was another highly.
They don't have I don't think they have the cap space to sign him though. Like that was one of the reasons why they let a lot of the other guys go, so they just didn't have the space to sign them. And then if they hadn't given that contract to Cotchery, then maybe they do have the money to afford DeSean Jackson. So maybe they're shooting themselves in the foot for not letting things play out a little bit. But
I honestly do. I do think the Jets are the best fit for both parties.
yeah,
As
I mean
it
the
stands
familiarity.
right now.
If DeSean Jackson though signs with the Jets, I think that instantly gives Michael Vick a leg up in the QB competition
sure,
because he's
absolutely.
got the chemistry
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah, and it is hard to develop chemistry with those deep receivers. Like
Exactly.
and Vick already. Vick already has that.
Right.
It
So
would be tough for Geno Smith.
I think that right now is probably going to be the most interesting story to follow over the course of free agency for at least the next couple weeks. He's going to sign soon. I don't think DeSean Jackson's going to be out there very long.
No.
Heck, we'll probably be talking next week about what team DeSean Jackson signed with. So,
Jets.
yeah.
Jets,
So
Jets,
so
Jets.
we still even though free agency is coming to a slowdown, we still got a lot to look forward to. So that'll wrap up our first segment for this episode. Please check us out on Twitter. Follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you've enjoyed hearing us discuss, football so far. Also, like us on Facebook. We'll be releasing podcasts every single week. And there's more to come for this episode where we will be
discussing the owners' meeting.
Yes, we will be discussing the owners'
Rule
meeting.
changes.
Yes, that was actually the big thing for this week. So there will be a link that'll pop up on the screen. Click it, and you'll be able to move on to the next part. Thanks for tuning in.